What's going on, everybody? Another video. Today's a little bit different from my other videos. No charts on the screen today, just me. And today I kind of want to talk about the psychology of what it takes to be a trader, right? You know, the kind of mindset that you have in order to be successful in trading, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is the champion mindset. You know, what is the champion mindset? Well, for me, a little backstory about me is before I got into trading, big into powerlifting. I still am, of course. I powerlift. You know, I'm going to nationals this year for powerlifting. But I was also a state champion powerlifter, right? So I kind of already have that champion mindset embedded into me, right? So what is the champion mindset? Well, to me, the champion mindset mostly involves discipline and accountability. So for powerlifting, you know, discipline looked like going to the gym every day, eating the right foods, eating the right protein, making sure, I know this is scary, but cardio, I know, crazy. You know, when I had to cut weight, if I wasn't able to go to the gym, I'm in my room doing push-ups. You know what I'm saying? If I can't go to the sauna, I'm in my room doing jumping jacks with 3 hoodies on to cut weight for a powerlifting meet that I have, right? So that's discipline, and the same with trading. You have to carry, that mindset into trading, and that's what I had to do, right? So what does the champion mindset look like when you're trading? Well, the champion mindset is really just focusing on yourself and your goals. In simple terms, being selfish. Because it's a solo sport, trading, right? It's, you're not with a team, you're not, relying on anybody. There's no competition, there's no oversaturation. It's a business model that only requires you, your brain, and the charts. So that's why I personally love trading, because before trading, I had plenty of other side hustles. I mean, I could go get it right now. I had plenty, of side hustles. I had a detailing business, shoveling driveways, anything really. I've tried everything. I've tried drop shipping on Depop. Trust me, I've tried it all. I've been in this entrepreneurship stuff, pretty much my whole life. Always, I've had lemonade stands when I was little. I was selling rocks and Legos up on the playground. So you have to be competitive. You have to want to win, right? There's this quote: losers focus on the winners, while winners focus on winning. You have to be completely, tunnel vision on your end goal, what you want to achieve. Me personally, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Not even a little bit close. Okay, I want $100 million comfortably in my bank account by the time I'm 30, and that's on the safe side, right? Your goals, you should be embarrassed to tell people your goals, right? I'm telling this to a camera, but like if someone was to ask me, what do you want to do with your life? It's hard to tell them like, oh, I want to have $100 million, because they would just be like, don't we all, buddy? Don't we all? But like, most people don't have that hunger. Most people are made for the 9 to 5 life. It takes a certain individual to have the champion mindset and the perseverance to pursue something for so long, right? Even through failure, even through losing. Because I mean, when you're starting trading, no one starts off profitable. Literally nobody. And if you do, you're probably made in a lab or superhuman, or maybe you're just Jewish. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, you have to have the grind. As corny as it sounds, you have to have the grind set. Like, you have to be able to work every day with no return, because one day it will return, right? Let's get in. Another part of that is self accountability. You have to hold yourself accountable at all times. When I was first starting trading, right, I was not old enough to have my own account, so I was paper trading, right, for fun. And it was really easy to paper trade. Like, I was very profitable while paper trading. I was having 10K months on a paper trading account. And that is because it was easy to detach yourself from the thought of the money being real, right? I didn't have to hold myself accountable then, because it didn't matter, right? And when I started getting into real trading, right, I was only, I'm only started being able to make real money from trading back in September when I turned 18 years old, because my family mostly believes in, you have to have a real job. Like my dad really wants me to get into the trades. My parents want me to go to college because I have college offers from powerlifting, things like that. But nobody really, I mean, my family supports what I do, but they don't understand how deep I am, how bad I want this and how I will achieve it. There's no other choice. So when I was paper trading, self accountability was not necessarily a need. But when I got into real trading, I learned that self accountability was the most important thing, right? Let me backtrack, right? I didn't grow up with a lot of money, right? I wouldn't say, when I was very young, I was poor, but kind of moved up to like low middle class now, right? And something that nobody says about, really talks about, being poor and then wanting to move on and like do something big with your life, is that being poor makes you very greedy. It changes your perception of money very greatly. Like someone who his parents is a neurosurgeon and makes, tons of money, right? When they see money, they're like, oh, it's just money. My parents have plenty of that. But someone like me, or someone else in even worse situation, maybe if you're watching this, when they see money, when they see $500, they're like, what? $500? That's life changing. $1,000, oh my god, that's life changing. You know what I could do with $1,000 right now? So yeah, being poor makes you greedy, right? And back to where I was, self accountability, that greed, you have to be able to recognize that. You have to hold yourself accountable at all times. At all times. If you see yourself revenge trading, right? Biggest thing I struggled with the longest time. I feel like I finally broke that. Just recently too. Like within the last 2 months, I finally broke my streak of revenge trading. You have to be able to be disciplined and hold yourself accountable to be able to recognize that you are doing something that you shouldn't be, right? Yeah, so self accountability, one of the most important things in the world and in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's another thing about trading, is that your personal life will 1000% follow you into your trading life. If you have commitment issues in your dating life, let's say like you talk to a girl for a while, she's the best, or a dude if you're a girl watching this, and everything's going well, but then the topic of a relationship comes up, and you're just like, ooh, yeah, no, and then you just kind of ghost her or like stray away from that, right? And you had commitment issues, that will 1000% follow you into your trading life. 1000%, right? You see a perfect setup, but you just came off of a loss. You're going to be like, ooh, I don't know. And then it plays out. And then you're like, damn, I could have made that money, right? So your personal life will 1000% follow you into your trading life. 1000%. Everything that you have wrong, if you're a messy person, you will be a messy trader. If you're a clean person, your trading will be very clean, right? So you have to fix your life. For example, today, the Tradovate servers were down, right? So I couldn't trade. I placed a limit order and it wasn't placing. And I was like, God damn it, right? And then I realized, like, wait a minute, this is a blessing in disguise, right? Because I can't trade today, that means that eliminates the possibility of me possibly even losing money today, right? Maybe I can't make money, but at least I won't lose any money, right? And I took that as an opportunity to clean my entire room, right? My room was a mess. It's been a mess these past couple of days because I've been home, just in here being a chud, trading and scrolling all day. And I realized, and I snapped out of that, and I was like, wait a minute, I got to do something about this. Like, I have to hold myself accountable. So yeah, a self accountability, very important. Your personal life will 1000% follow you into your trading life, right? And now I kind of want to talk about emotions in trading, right? I just talked about the attachment for money, right? But I also want to talk about emotions when trading and how to be less emotional, right? Because a lot of traders will tell you that you just have to be a stone cold killer when it comes to trading. And obviously that is a little bit true, but the truth is that's impossible. Literally impossible. There's absolutely no way anyone in this entire world, unless they have some type of mental issue that they don't feel any emotions at all, that they can look at a loss and not feel a little bit upset. All right? No matter what, a win is going to make you happy and a loss is going to make you upset. Okay? It's not trading without emotion, it's controlling that emotion, right? It's not seeing that you come off a win and you're like, oh yeah, let's make some more money. Let's keep going. Let's pump those numbers up. Because trust me, I've been there. I remember one day made like 1,500 in a trade, and I was like $100 away from passing an account, and I was like, let's go, let's keep going. Boom, blew the account literally the same day. Blew the entire account that same day. So yeah, the emotions are unavoidable, but they are able to be regulated. Okay, if you have a bad day at school, right? Or I guess I can't say a bad day at school because most of the time school is during the trading hours, right? But let's say you and your girlfriend just broke up, right? You love that girl, she broke up with you, cheated on you, whatever happened, right? Or maybe, someone close to you dies, and you're just feeling really upset, right? Really emotional. You're not going to want to go into the charts the next day, okay? Just take a break. The charts will always be there, right? They're not going anywhere. You're not going to blink, right? Or go to sleep and then it's all a dream and charts never existed, right? That's just not true, okay? The charts won't go anywhere. They will always be there. So if you are in an emotional state, right, you are feeling sad or angry or upset or even like ecstatic, like extremely happy, like, oh my God, I just had the best day ever, let's hop on the charts, right? You will have, if you're having the best day ever, you'll have overconfidence and like go for a trade that doesn't even make sense and lose, right? Or if you are, super angry or sad, you'll go into a trade and maybe you'll lose, right? And then you'll just start revenge trading and you'll lose more. And then it's a snowball effect. Everything in trading is a snowball effect, good and bad, right? So if you're continuing with bad habits, those will snowball into more bad habits, right? But if you're constantly disciplined and working on getting better and pushing through the losses and doing everything that you should, the snowball will build into something huge and one day you will be successful. And then another thing that I want to talk about now is recognizing the long-term goals here, right? And what does that mean? What does it mean to recognize the long-term goal? Because obviously everyone wants to be a millionaire, right? Everyone wants to have $1 million in their bank account. They want to retire their family. I mean, that's the whole point of why we're doing this, right? I'm not here for no reason. But the long-term goal, you have to recognize that in every short-term win and loss. So if, let's say you're coming off of a 3-day winning streak, right? You're like banging out trades 3 days in a row. You're green on every day, right? You haven't lost a single trade in 3 days, and then you lose a trade pretty badly. You get really upset and you get really caught up of it and you get emotional and this, that, and the third. The best way to get over that is to recognize the long-term goal, right? You had one bad day compared to three good days. Okay, that's 2 good days now that you've had. So that's two green days that you're probably still up on money, right? Just because you have a losing day does not make you necessarily a loser or a bad trader. And another thing is, if you have a losing day, the money will always come back. Literally always. No matter what, that money will always come back. I mean, it's impossible to not make money a little bit, especially if you keep going and you just don't stop. That's a big thing with trading is a lot of people give up. They say only 1% of traders or whatever the stupid statistic is actually make it in this field, and that's because so many people give up. Okay, if winning is the only option, then you can't lose, right? If you never stop, then you're bound to win. Some people it takes 6 months, some people it takes a year, some people it takes 5 years. Okay, but if you don't stop, then you can't lose. And the last thing I want to talk about is what people will say about trading to you, and how people will tell you that trading is gambling or it's an unstable career path and that you shouldn't pursue trading. And I just want to tell you that they're right. I know it's not what you were expecting, but they are right. Trading is gambling. Every time you press that buy button or every time you press that sell button, there's a 50% chance that it will lose, right? You will lose money. If I had a wheel right here that said 50%, it was split down the middle, and it's 50%. You lose $200, and 50% you win $400. Are you spinning that wheel? Most people, yeah, of course. And that is gambling, and that's the stage that you're going to be in when you're unprofitable, right? You're going to be a gambler. You're not a trader yet. When you're unprofitable, you're not a trader. You are a gambler, right? But that's not to say that you can't become a trader, right? And the way you do that is you can increase that 50%, right? If you spin that wheel, right? You know nothing about trading. That 50% is going to stay 50%. But if you learned confluences and you better your psychology and you backtest every day and you get chart experience, up your knowledge and things like that, that 50% goes to 55%, and then 60%, and then 70%, and then even some of the best traders in the world, 80%, right? Because another thing is you'll never have a 100% win rate, literally ever. Losses are unavoidable. They will always happen. You will always lose no matter what. Not all the time. You're not going to lose every trade, but you will always lose, right? Losing trades are bound to happen. The market, it just happens. Like, things happen all the time, like randomly. It's just never always in your favor at all times. So people are going to tell you that you shouldn't continue trading. And if you are afraid of commitment, and if you are not taking it seriously and it's a hobby to you, then you are not going to be successful, and you should absolutely listen to them. Okay? If trading to you is a hobby, then you should listen to them, and you need to start building your resume or filling out college applications or something, right? Or going to Snap-on and buying some tools, because you're going to be swinging a wrench, because you are not going to be successful in trading. You have to give it your all. It has to take over your life. Like, you have to be trading so much when you start. You have to be trading so much and on the charts so much that you're dreaming about the charts. Okay, I was seeing candlesticks in my dreams when I started, and I still do sometimes. Like, because it is my life. Trading is my life, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, and something that I love, and that's what it has to be to you. Okay, it can't be a hobby. It can't be like, oh yeah, I trade every now and again. Like, I'll check the charts like once, twice a week. I want to become a trader someday, but I just don't have the time. Like, no, you have the time. You can make the time, right? You have 30 minutes of you're sitting in bed scrolling on your phone. You could have been backtesting, right? You could have been watching videos on how to become a better trader. You're taking a big step right now. If you're watching this right now, you're doing something good. You're working towards your trading goals, right? You have to be working towards your goal at all times, literally 24/7. I'm thinking about the charts 24/7. Okay, I'm in the shower thinking about what the chart's going to do the next day. I'm in the gym. I'm still thinking about the charts. Like, literally, it'll take over your life, and that's what you want. You want it to take over your life, okay? Because that's how you know that you were made for this. Like, you were meant to become successful. Like, this is your calling, right? And if it's not like that for you, I would suggest finding something else. You know what I'm saying? I would suggest looking down other career paths. And with that being said, that's what it takes to be a successful trader. I mean, I'm not even close to where I want to be. I'm getting there, and I'm telling you guys what I have learned, right? So, yeah, you have to have a champion mindset. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to be disciplined, and you have to detach yourself from money completely. You have to want it, okay? And not even, actually, scratch that. You can't just want it. You have to need it. Okay, I feel like, me personally, if I don't get where I want to be in trading, then I will be homeless, because there's nothing else I want to do. Like, and I know that's not going to happen, right? Because I'm not grinding every day, making these videos, back testing, every single day, doing this, that, and the third, just to be in a box on the side of the road, right? I know I'm going to be successful because that's the position I've set myself up to be in. And I'm working a lot harder than everyone around me, right? I'm in competition with myself every single day. Get 1% better than you were yesterday. That should be your goal, right? Even, you're not going to be insanely motivated every single day to trade, right? There's going to be days where you wake up and like, oh, I have to hop on the charts today. But as long as you try to get better, right? You do at least a little bit instead of nothing, then you're working towards your goal, and that's what matters. Right? Because not every day you're going to want to do this, right? And on top of that, breaks are necessary. Breaks are 1000% necessary. Like, on the weekends, that's my detachment from trading. I used to backtest all day on the weekends, or like try to, trade crypto. And it kind of consumed my brain in a bad way, right? You want it to consume you in a good way, but that will make it consume you in a bad way, right? You want to be obsessed, but you want to be obsessed with precision, obsessed with the goal in mind. So yeah, breaks are absolutely necessary. You have to detach yourself from the charts every once in a while, because like I said earlier, your personal life will follow you into the charts. And if your personal life is just the charts, then most likely bad things are bound to happen, right? You have to have a good personal life as well. You have to get your life set, make your bed every morning, get a good routine. But yeah, with that being said, that's what it takes to be a champion. in trading. The champion mindset. I completely said that all backwards, but oh well. Yeah. Thank you for watching.